Jim Cottle Jr. hung on for the win at Oxford a week ago, continuing a trend of unexpected winners this SARA Super Series season. While Cole Cabrey has stacked 4 trophies to his name this season, the other half of the schedule has been mixed up among a handful of drivers all across the standings, leaving title contenders looking to beat Cabrey wondering what they need to do to get in on those winning ways. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual New Smyrna, Florida. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV. I've got Zach Murtis alongside, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the Sim Auto Racing Association Pierce Fleet Service Super Series at New Smyrna Speedway. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by Pierce Fleet Service, by Race 1 Wraps, and by all series partners. Zach, thanks for joining me this evening as per usual. It is good to have you here. It's going to be a fun one here at New Smyrna Speedway. This is where we kind of got the show on the road. We had Irwindale as like a teaser of the season almost last season, and then New Smyrna really kicked off our full coverage. And I have very fond memories of that race a season ago. Parker Traves won a victory lane. I'm excited to get back here and add to the stories of New Smyrna Speedway within the SARA Super Series. I don't know who is going to win this race. No clue. Parker Traves is not here this evening. He's still on suspension. So we're going to have a new winner, at least for us, here at the channel at this racetrack.
You know what I love about the fact that they chose New Smyrna Speedway for this race, Andrew? You know what's coming up?
World Series of Asphalt.
There you go. The World Series of Asphalt is one of my favorite times of the year. I love seeing everything that comes out of this racetrack over the course of the year. But fun fact, they don't just use this track only for the World Series of Asphalt and all the other glorious short track racing they have down in Florida. They also use this track for NASCAR rookie tests. There's a couple of YouTube videos out there of NASCAR rookies like Rajah Caruth taking rookie tests here at the New Smyrna racetrack. So this is a bit of an ambidextrous racetrack when it comes to a lot of different things, and I'm always confused about what the little oval is in there. I feel like that's a kart track. That is a kart track, isn't it?
Quarter midgets.
Quarter midgets, okay. That's even better. But New Smyrna Speedway, super late models, modifieds, late model stock cars, which they don't usually run here, but on the iRacing Sim they do. You name it, this track always produces one great race for whatever they got out here.
And we're going to have one great race this evening. The Race 1 Wraps 125 is set to be a fun one, especially with points on the line. Cole Cabrey comes in defending a 47-point lead, which is a massive gap at this point in the season. It's going to be difficult for Ryan Kuhn or anybody to say anything about this championship at this point. I mean, it's just Cabrey's running away. He really is, and I don't want to say that he can coast, but he can just about coast these last 3 weeks and just notch a few solid positionings when it's all said and done, and I think he's the champion. But there's still a ways to go, a lot of racing left to do, 400 laps or so of racing, so we've got to sit back and watch it all unfold before we can really sing away at who is going to be the champion this season. We don't know, realistically, but it is very likely. Like, if you were to draw a name out of a hat, 95 entries right now would be Cole Cabrey. And then you have one for Ryan Kuhn, one for Cody Kelly, one for Josh Cottle, one for Jacob Harberts, and one for Alex McCullum. That's how I feel like this is stacked up. You just got the 95 Cole Cabreys in there, and he's just got that good of a chance to win this championship at this point in time. And it's only going to go up unless he has a bad race here. And I don't want to wish a bad race on him, but realistically, that's what it's going to take.
I feel like you need to take Alex McCullum's entry into that hat and rip it in half and put it back in. Because I hate to say it that way, I really do, but the man has been on fire, and then all of a sudden, you know, you had last week at Oxford, it did not end up going his way, and, you know, he really cannot afford a bad race, Andrew. I think mathematically a lot of these guys are still eligible to win this thing. I mean, heck, even Matt Rolfe jumped up a little bit in the point standings after last week, I think, but there's still so much open availability for these guys. There's so much potential, so much can still unfold. And I wouldn't count anybody out, especially Cody Kelly. You said it yourself. He's a bit of a sleeper pick, and he just notched himself a bit of a higher position up in these points.
What's interesting is Cabrey, Kelly, and Cottle all held their positions. Kuhn moved up 4, Harberts moved up 1, and McCullum dropped 5 spots in the standings. That is a huge, huge blow to Alex McCullum's season, and that's what we've been talking about. Even with the drops, yes, the drops helped him move up, but then he couldn't afford a bad race. He had a bad race, and that dropped him right out of the title fight, and I don't think he's going to be able to get back in. We'll wait and see. He did qualify fastest this evening. Let's get down and talk about our starting grid before we go racing this evening. On pole, at least by qualifying on the Lucky Performance starting grid, you have Alex McCullum, Josh Cottle second, then third and fourth, Cody Kelly and Jim Cottle Jr., last week's winner at Oxford. Then Dallas Mataska, Cole Cabrey, Joe Schaefer Jr., and Trevor Edwards are your fast 8 in qualifying. They'll be reshuffled by the metric. Starting in 9th and 10th, you'll find Kyle Meyer and Casey Kelly.
Rolling on down the starting order in 11th and 12th, you will find Kyle Turzak and Cameron Hamilton, both with a win apiece this season so far. 15th and 16th on the starting grid tonight. Just behind those two, you will... Oh, excuse me. That was Jacob Harberts on the outside of Keith Jeffrey. Excuse me. No, I'm getting my numbers mixed up. 15th and 16th, Joel Smith and Blake Massingale. And then right behind them in the 17th and the 18th spot, you'll find Daniel Foltz and Steele Langford. And rolling off 19th and 20th, you'll find Riley Stenjem and Matt Rolfe.
Starting 21st, it's Dante Curtis, Spencer Dickinson from 22nd, 23rd, Aaron Johnson, 24th, Dylan Bates, 25th, Justin Laxton, 26th, Eric Tracy, 27th, Devin Rogers, then Grant Brown at 28th, and finally John Willett and Brian Tedeschi will complete your field. Aaron Abendroth and Josh Oswald are scratches. They will not advance. Tedeschi did have to use a provisional to get into tonight's race, so that's about how qualifying Shuck? I feel like the past tense of shook should be shuck. I think shook is already past tense. Anyways, metric, go over it.
Handicap tonight. Alex McCullum was the fastest starter, but he will not start out in the front row. You'll find Trevor Edwards and Dallas Mataska. Then it's Joe Schaefer Jr. and Cody Kelly. Jim Cottle Jr., Alex McCullum, Josh Cottle, and Cole Cabrey. That's how they're going to line up from the metric. Lights are out, Andrew. Let's go racing.
Into the restart zone and down and away. We are racing this evening from New Smyrna. Trevor Edwards leads lap number 1 by benefit of that metric that put him on pole for this race. Not a great season for him in the points, able to start from the front row and is using that to his massive advantage here in just the opening couple of laps of this race. 125 side by side for fourth. You've got Jim Cottle Jr. on the inside, Cody Kelly on the outside.
First side-by-side battle that we have on the racetrack. Look at them force up off that yellow line just a little bit. Well, you see them staying so close together. Trevor Edwards goes quickest, sitting out in front right now. You know the one interesting characteristic? Well, you know what? Call it two. The characteristics that are about New Smyrna Speedway. You see it right here on the front stretch. Look at that outside wall. It kicks out a little bit. It can be a bit of an eye scratcher or a head scratcher for some of these drivers because you can just drive it up off the corner a little bit differently, and then a little bit back there, the crossover gate. Luckily, Parker Traves is not here to get that nose ripped off and still win the race.
Yeah, that was an impressive day for Parker Traves. Unfortunate that he can't be here with us this evening. Battle for fourth. Jim Cottle Jr. on the inside. Cody Kelly on the outside. Josh Cottle watches on. Alex McCullum, Cole Cabrey, they battle for 7th and 8th spot. And I feel like this field has picked up lately. I feel like they've all gotten better and have been able to start racing Cabrey and McCullum a little bit more strongly, because usually we would expect these two to already be moving up. Now contact between those two off of turn number 2, and that gets them single file, but they are stuck back there in 7th and 8th right now. It's going to take them some time.
That it will. Just going to have to find their way around at the moment. Up in front, though, our 3 leaders are scooting away from the rest of this field. Kelly gets clear. He's going to fall in line right in front of Jim Cottle Jr. Still fighting down on that inside line. Josh Cottle up top. Cole Cabrey right behind. It's all going to even out. Oh, man, little wiggle right there out of the 15. Now Cabrey to the outside.
Here comes Cole Cabrey moving forward now. Gets positioning on that Jim Cottle Jr. machine who won a week ago. And so Cabri able to pass the car that nobody could pass at the end of the Oxford race last week.
You know, Andrew, I just realized something, and you probably already said it, and I didn't realize you did, but Ryan Kuhn is not here tonight.
I actually had not said it. I wasn't sure, but I didn't recall seeing his name on the entry blank at all, which is a big hit. But he did tell us, I think, a couple of weeks back that he wouldn't be here these next couple of weeks. He'll have to fall back on some drop races. He is down in Florida for Speed Week, so not able to make this race, and I believe next week's race either. Although, actually, we're off next week, so it should be fine. I think it's just this race he'll miss as Jim Cottle Jr. slips back into the 8th spot, right ahead of Casey Kelly and Kyle Meyer. There is a fight behind them. Cameron Hamilton and Kyle Turzak will duke it out. This is Hamilton on the inside, Turzak on the outside, Joel Smith right behind.
The onboard right now with Joel Smith. Look at those hands, Andrew. That wheel is cranked so far to the right down the straightaway. That is one thing I didn't expect to see here at New Smyrna. I understand where the basis is for these setups with how these drivers run the steering wheel so far to the right like that, but I got to tell you, Andrew, I don't know if that's something that I can get behind all the time. I've tried in the real race cars to make a little contact, and I've always had to re-index my wheel. It's just such the orange tape's just a visual indicator for me, and I feel like I constantly need that to be center, so I know I'm going straight.
Well, this car reports, and we don't get exact, so we don't get the steering offset data that's part of the setup. So it always shows the same offset for us. Now, I'd imagine Joel Smith is running an offset that's a little bit different, a little more centered, or most of these guys probably are, but we only get so much data back from iRacing, and in this case, the wheel offset is part of the setup, so that does not get transmitted to us. So the actual offset that they use does not get transmitted, so it goes to a default offset. That's why you're seeing the hands crank so far to the right. That's the default. That's a pretty crazy default, but that's the default offset that is used on these super late model cars down the straightaways. That is, it's wild. I will say that. I don't like it. I can never drive with it like that. It's definitely pretty crazy.
That it is. I've always struggled trying to drive that way, and I tried it a couple of times. I was okay with it for the time being, but I like to have my orange tape up in the center on my MPI wheel. But up front, taking a look back off of Dallas Patasco, looking at Joe Schaefer Jr., and you see the single file train right behind him. See now, Andrew, with Ryan Kuhn not being here, that thrusts that 75 car of Cody Kelly up into, the potential to be in a championship winning position. He's up in front of Cole Cabri right now. He's had a lot of speed lately. There's a lot of open availability. Like you said, that man's a sleeper pick, but I don't think he's becoming a sleeper pick all that much anymore. I think he's becoming a legitimate threat.
Well, Cabri is up to 6th and closing on this group. Kelly's only got one car between himself and Cabri, and that's Josh Cottle, a teammate to Cole Cabri. So I wouldn't say there's much of a cushion right now. It would really take a bad race, multiple bad races for Cabri to open this championship up, but Kelly is in position to kind of assume the next best spot right now and potentially battle for second in this championship, depending on how the cards fall and how the drops are figured in for Ryan Kuhn. So you're not entirely off base there. Cody Kelly is in one heck of a spot right now for this championship, and has risen to be one of the better drivers, one of the best drivers here in this SARA Super Series. Meanwhile, you can see in the background of that shot, the right side of that shot into turn 1, Alex McCollum starting to make some moves.
I think he just tapped the wall off of turn number 2.
I think so.
He took a look down to the inside of Cole Cabri going into turn number 1, had to back out of it. Now he's just sitting here kind of riding behind that 54. They get so close to that wall, Andrew. I always try to play it a little safe, but these guys, they just rim ride that wall. And you got to be careful. We've seen it before. That wall can reach out and grab you. As Cabri looks to the inside on Cottle, on his teammate, he's still got the nose down there going into turn number 3, but he backs out. That checks him up to Alex McCullum here in turn number 4. And they're going to stay single file down the straightaway. Kelly taking a look to the inside going into turn number 1.
Cody Kelly feeling the pressure on the back of his neck. Starting to move forward here. Look to the inside of Joe Schaefer. Will back out here in turn number 3. But he's looking. Pataska move around a little bit. Joe Schaefer right in between Pataska and Kelly. And now Cottle looks to the inside of Kelly. This for the 4th position. And Kelly shuts that down.
They all make these moves going into turn number 1. They just jump to the inside, and they either have to back out. I say that. They're backing out in turns 3 and 4. McCullum was still there going into the front straightaway. And now into turn number 1, he's underneath Cabry. Is Kelly still under pressure from Cottle? They're all feeling it out right now, working themselves around on the racetrack. Now Schaefer's on the inside of Pataska. He's moving himself forward. Going to take that fight up for 2nd place. Kelly sitting there in the mix waiting to see which line's going to be the more beneficial to go with. He decides to go with the 6.
Follows the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. there on the inside of the corner. Pataska starting to move backwards. That car maybe starting to fall away. We'll see him likely in the Americas region of the Intimidator event for the Majors Series on February 16th. You see Majors Garage at the back end of that number 23 car and the sides of that 23 car. He's a big part of that whole operation over at Majors Garage. Cody Kelly, though, to the inside of Pataska. And we'll get position on the number 23. And dive back down to the inside of turn number 3 and probably discard of Pataska. Yeah, we'll clear him there. Josh Cottle now to the inside of Pataska.
A little bit of contact. It all works itself out. Pataska hangs on to the spot. Cottle back down to the inside line.
Ooh.
They're making more contact. I think they're getting a little handsy right there, trying to hang on to these race cars. Cottle's going to dispense Pataska. Maybe not completely. Oh, so close together. Cabry making a little bit of contact as well. I think Pataska just wants to hang on to the spot, but it doesn't look like he has the car to contend for that at the moment. Now he's got Cabry with the nose in front going into turn number 3. You know, the outside line has been good for defense, Andrew. They're getting the runs off the corner that they can stick with these guys on the inside line. Heck, they can even hang on to the spot and get clear of these drives. But I don't know, Andrew. I think as the race rolls on, they're looking at a detriment. Caution's out on the speedway.
First caution of the night, and it'll be for Riley Stenjum, it looks like. He was at least slow for a moment. I don't see anybody else slow. I see Devin Rogers has lost a lap, although he did start from the pit lane, so that might be part of that. So we'll go back and get a look at Stenjum and see what might have transpired for car 77. Racing with Dylan Bates in the 91, and Bates just tips him off into turn 1. Bit of a slide and catch, and that's that.
So where's the spin?
Bates staggered to the inside there. A little bit of contact off of turn 4. And, there was even some net code between those two. And that constitutes itself as a caution. I think the iRacing.com system thought that he was going to continue going around. And, more often than not, that probably will be a full spin. But Stenjum able to hang on in that Epic Media 77 Toyota Camry. Spencer Dickinson had a front row seat to that. Let's watch his onboard. Ooh. Massengill going to hit the pit lane, and I think he's parking it, actually.
Taking a look at that.
That or he's having some disconnection issues.
I think he's just having some issues. Not exactly seeing that he is out of the race. Seeing he's still on track, actually.
Yeah, he's having connection issues. He's back and then gone and then back and then gone. So Blake Massengill having some problems. Now, something we're going to watch tonight will be for the Lucky Performance Lucky Break of the day. So, viewers, if maybe you catch your eye on something, maybe that something lucky that happens to one of these drivers, let us know in the comments on YouTube especially what you think constitutes as the lucky break of the day. We'll talk about it throughout the course of the race. Nothing really has piqued high interest so far, honestly. It's
No,
been a very
you're
calm
only-
race, but we're only 40
40
laps
laps
in.
in.
Yeah. Plenty of time to go. We'll also be talking about the driver of the day, and so far, I mean, I would vote for Trevor Edwards, but the NARL driver of the day will be a vote that we conduct on YouTube. We'll be talking about that very soon because, Zach, we're already coming up on halfway where we got to make our nominations.
The fact that we're coming up on halfway is crazy to me. This is moving fast.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air. 40 complete. 85 to go. Cody Kelly on that inside, working on third place. Gets his nose ahead of Josh Cottle. And they stay side by side battling for that third spot. Cabry and McCullum side by side right behind. Then Jim Cottle Jr. back there in 7th. Casey Kelly in 8th. Kyle Turzak, Cameron Hamilton, they battle for 9th and 10th.
Still the fight race is on up here.
Oh, he cleared a move up the racetrack. He kind of shut the door in Cottle's face and said, no, I'm
look at
having this
McCullum.
spot. He was dancing off the corner.
Oh boy, this is it's getting a little dicey for lap 43. I'll tell you, Kelly with a bit of a muscle, McCullum just feeling it out, looking around. Side by side though, up in front. 13:54. Cabry, Cottle.
Oh,
Ooh,
Josh in the wall. Josh Cottle all over the outside wall there on the front stretch. That holds him back and puts him alongside the one of McCullum. Oh, he's going to turn McCullum. McCullum drifts and hangs on to the race car. Oh, my gosh. Josh Cottle, Alex McCullum, what a moment there.
There's one of your nominations for the lucky performance, lucky break of the race. Oh, my goodness.
I think so. That was extremely lucky for the whole field not to have that crash in front of all of them.
And caution.
This is at the back of the field. Eric Tracy around, along with, it looks like, John Willett.
Here, Dante Curtis taking responsibility for that one, so more than likely he'll get the EOL, but we'll have to wait and see how that looks in the replay.
Dante Curtis in the 03, right behind Tracy in the 67. Oh, there was a checkup.
Right in front. Oh.
Willett got sent.
Rear tires probably got lifted off the ground right there. That was brutal.
Hard to see what happened. We'll zoom out here. Pataska just about run into Stengham. And Blake Massengill did not get the memo that they were checking up at all. He ran smack at the back of the 8 car of Willett.
In his defense, Massengill is having a few connection issues. I've said what I can.
Let's watch it here from this view. This will show the closing rate from Massengill in the 10 car up to Willett in the 8. I mean, he was on his back bumper to begin with.
Willett just jammed on the brakes right there, but I mean, there's nothing else you can do. So it's just about being heads up in the moment at that point. A couple of cars head to the pit lane.
There you see the right rear damage on McCullum's machine. I don't see much else, although Josh Cottle has taken his car to the pit lane for attention.
See that right front, little bent in right there. Shouldn't be too much of an effect.
A little, that's decently dented up. I mean,
I'm being generous.
For all that went on, I'm surprised he doesn't have more suspension damage. And maybe he does. Let's see. We'll ride on board with him for the choose. This far back, it's difficult to choose, but kind of just go with what your heart's telling you. I mean, that looks about normal for a super late model here.
Usually you're having the spotter call out who's going where, who's doing what. It gives you a better idea of where to make your choose, but
here we go. Restart zone. 50 complete, 75 to go at New Smyrna. McCullum on the inside of Cabry here. I'm surprised by that through the choose. McCullum's going to have the spot.
Look at Kelly. Oh,
Whoa.
big red line. Everyone's going around. Cars in
Dylan
the
Bates.
air.
I saw Bates in the air.
Dallas Pataska, Matt Rolfe. See Dylan Bates. He's going to tow immediately to the pit lane. Now that, sir, is an unfortunate turn of events. Aaron Johnson, Dylan Bates, they've got pit for repair flags. See
There's
Bates
Dylan
behind
Bates in
Harper.
the black and blue 91. He just came up off the corner.
No.
Oh my gosh. He was
Right in front of Cameron Hamilton.
He was not clear. Came up across the nose of the 10 car. Watch it here. Up off the hood of Kyle Meyer. Matt Rolfe gets stacked up in it with Brian Tedeschi.
Aaron Johnson got a big piece of it, apparently. Didn't see too much damage on that race car, though, so I'm surprised. But I'm sure we'll see a different angle of it. Focusing on that 78 right there. Riding on board, you see Langford and Joel Smith up on the top line. They're going to be the ones that get stacked up by everything happening in front. Hamilton right in front of Smith. Boom, pow. Oh, just gets sandwiched right there with Spencer Dickinson and Steele Langford.
I want to see the driver POV of this because he stayed in the gas for a while. In the gas, in the gas, in the gas. Yeah. He stayed in the gas
all
for
the
a
way
while.
up to contact.
He's going to have a lot of left front damage. Oh boy, that is junk on the left front of that 878 car, and I'm going to be honest with you, that's pretty self-inflicted.
Unfortunate. Sure, Spencer Dickinson's going to have a little bit of damage, as will Steele Langford, Joel Smith. Sure, Matt Rolfe and Dallas Pataska are all going to have a few incidents on their record for the night. Overall, though, not seeing anybody get handed an EOL penalty for that. I would assume the ones that have the EOL are pretty much already towards the back or in the pit lane.
Yeah, I think Dylan Bates would claim that, if anything, and he's out of the race at this point with all of that damage and towing and whatnot, so he will stay in the pit lane. The field works down the backstretch here on lap 56 of 125. We'll make some nominations during this next green flag run on driver of the day and let you all vote on it. I think I've got a couple nominations already going on in my head, but here we go. Green flag is back out at New Smyrna. Cody Kelly right to second place, mirroring every move of that 32.
I'll tell you what, Andrew, do not count out that 75 car. He is firing off beautifully on these restarts. He chose bottom, fired off great, got up to second. Chose top on this one, fired off great, still holding on to second. McCullum's up to third now. He went right around Joe Schaefer Jr. Now, the only thing standing between him and, well, the leader is Cody Kelly. So keep an eye on that 75, Andrew, and to be perfectly honest, we're going to be rolling up on halfway in about 5-6 laps here. I think I already got my nomination for driver of the day, at least one of them.
Right now, I think it's the top 4 to choose from, realistically. Edwards has been fantastic leading this race. Kelly's been fantastic moving through the field, as has McCullum and Cabry. For me, it's the top 4.
Look at McCullum. He took a look down to the inside of the 75. Cody Kelly went topside trying to go around Trevor Edwards. So you had two drivers fighting for position at the same time, trying to make passes on different drivers on the racetrack. There is such a complexity to this top 4 up here right now that anything could happen. Any shakeup could change how their race is going overall. And now Cabry's looking to the inside of McCullum coming off of turn number 2, taking a look down the back straightaway, stays in line. But I think overall these guys are now just being a little bit more patient with each other, and if the move happens, well, they're just going to wait for it. McCullum's at the wall, Andrew.
That held him up. Cabry took a look to the inside. No dice there in turns 1 and 2. You'll have to wait for a better opportunity as we approach and surpass halfway in this race. Lap 62 and a half. That's halfway. We've gone on by. So cross flags there. Here comes Kelly looking on the inside of Edwards. At least he was for a moment there off of turn number 2.
More so looking top, wouldn't you say? Taking a bit of a wider entry, a bigger arc into these corners. Look at that. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm watching the left sides of their cars, and I see Kelly, you could say the length of a body panel a little higher up in these corners on entry. It's so difficult to tell. There he was a little bit lower. But rolling past the speed shots, still a little lower in that corner. No, changing lines around. What can you say, Andrew?
There's the whole field working here on lap 66, now 67. Somebody else I would bring up for driver of the day would be Kyle Terzak. He's nearly worked into a top 5 position from starting down outside of the top 10. He's been slowly and methodically making his way through the field as well, so he would be my conversation for driver of the day. Otherwise, the top 4 have been very, very impressive so far this evening. Zach, I'm going to give you the floor for one of your nominations here. We've got to start making them.
Oh, I'm going with 75 of Cody Kelly. Absolutely. That man has just been impressing me every week so far here in the SARA Super Series. I made the comments about him, Andrew. He would have instances where he would get really good runs early on in the race, and he would fade a little bit more into obscurity as the race went on. He fixed that. And these last 5 or 4 weeks, he has just been on it. And the man is poised to be in position to go for this championship. You can't count him out. Look at that. He's looking to the inside now, Andrew. Trying to take the lead away.
I get some contact there with Trevor Edwards. And Edwards will be my nomination there. Oh, no! Don't crash now! These two beating and banging for the race lead.
Go get you some. Take that lead away there. 75, new race leader Alex McCullum to the inside. He's looking to take second place away. And I'll tell you what, Andrew, that's my other pick for driver of the day. That number 1 car of Alex McCullum.
Alex McCullum moving through, trying to work on second place here. Trevor Edwards. Now I'm going to mix it up just because Cole Cabry, I'm sure, will have a nomination in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go Kyle Terzak in that 15 car. He's been pretty good moving through the field in the 15, so I will add him to the nomination list, and we will put that vote up on YouTube here in just a moment. But right now, Zach, the battle is for second.
They're real fighting it out right now. Edwards came down the racetrack a little bit, made some contact with that number 1 car. Now, Cabry to the inside, not letting Trevor Edwards close that hole in that 32 car. McCullum slides up, barely has enough room to clear. Edwards backs off into the corner, just barely, backs it up, comes right back to the back bumper, Andrew. They're not letting each other get away.
This battle far from over. Here comes Cabry on Edwards. And Edwards gave McCullum a shot there in turns 1 and 2. Edwards going to let Cabry go. Oh, he's nearly getting turned for it. Schaefer puts a bumper to the 32 car.
Gloves are off. And here we go. This is turning into a slugfest now. Terzak to the inside of the 6 Joe Schaefer Jr. Smacks the wall, Andrew. Now he's going to have to defend against Casey Kelly on the inside line. Keeps hold of the spot.
That's been defended. Boy. He holds off that 5 car for now. So Kyle Terzak now looking forward. Oh, man. We talked to him last week. He had a solid run at Oxford, top 3. The 215 cars, I believe, went 1 and 2. And that vote is now up over on YouTube. So if you're watching, vote. It's simple as that. You're able to do so whether you're on mobile or I guess you can't on a TV. So if you're on a TV, pull up your phone. I know you got one, and go over to YouTube, pull up the stream, and vote real quick. Trevor Edwards, Cody Kelly, Alex McCullum, Kyle Terzak, your options for driver of the day. And Edwards, of course, led about the first half of this race, was unseated, usurped, if you will, by Cody Kelly, who has not looked back since. Kelly driving away with now a 3/4 of a second lead over Alex McCullum, and that's hard to do.
He's out here collecting bonus points right now. Bonus points for leading the most laps, plus for leading a lap. Right now, most laps led. We go to the 32 of Trevor Edwards. I think he would need to hop out in front for maybe about 5 more laps, get that on lock if he hasn't gotten it already, since he's led just about flag to flag. No, he's already got it on lock then. We're already past halfway for him. So bonus points would go to Trevor Edwards. That's 5 extra bonus points right there. 5 bonus points taken away at the moment from Cabry and McCullum, you know, with them not leading any laps. And then, oh my goodness, I know you have some statistical data that you have to be able to keep track of a lot what's going on with pit stops and whatnot. Do you know who has the fastest lap at the moment?
Well, that's going to be Trevor Edwards.
That's another 5 bonus points.
He's got a 17.160, and he's one of 2 drivers with the fastest lap in the 17.1s, the other one being Dallas Pataska. So they fired off really well on the short run. And these guys have got it on the long run, which is what they all tune for. They tune for the long run here in the SARA Super Series because they know they're going to get some. This series is that dang good. We've seen clean racing here at New Smyrna all night long. 2 cautions, I believe, maybe 3. We've got a graphic for that. Let me just pull it up. 3 cautions. There we go. Been a very clean race. You simply don't usually get that here at New Smyrna, not with 30 cars in the racetrack. It's difficult to do that.
We are about 3/5 of the way through, rolling up on 4/5 here in about 15 laps. These guys, they have been rolling so quick lately. I'll tell you, Andrew, these guys have been rolling so quick lately. It's insane to me. I mean, we've been green flag racing for half an hour. We've been live for just under 45 minutes. You know, we've had a couple of hiccups along the way, not in the broadcast sense, but in the driver's sense. I mean, you've got Aaron Johnson and Dylan Bates out of the race right now. You've got Kyle Meyer and Devin Rogers a little bit further down the running order. So that's rough to see for a lot of guys that I know have had some quick runs overall. Then you've got point situations flipping on its head. You've got Cody Kelly leading the race. You've got Trevor Edwards, who's going to jump probably from 12th to 8th in the point standings tonight, with Cameron Hamilton, Matt Rolfe, oh my goodness, who else? Spencer Dickinson, Aaron Johnson. They've all had terrible days. And this is factoring in before drops. I know the points as they run that we've shown on our Pit Stop TV graphic show drops included, but my math is going through whether or not some of these guys will take a drop race for this race.
It's battling back here with about 35 laps to go now. Spencer Dickinson on the inside of Joel Smith. Dickinson
right
looking for the 12th position. Right behind them you'll find Keith Jeffrey and Riley Stenjum. That's a battle.
Battle's going to fizzle out pretty quick. Stenjum takes it over that 88 car with that Cadillac nose. I love seeing the Cadillac nose on these super late models, Andrew. I don't know what it is, but it's so appealing to me. A little bit further on back, hello. Dallas Pataska has no nose, fighting with Brian Tedeschi right now. I'm sure he's losing a little bit of downforce on that car.
We've seen it working in the past, though. I mean, think about Parker Traves last season winning here with no nose in the race car after getting the crossover game. Yeah, that's such a historic moment, I feel like, in this league at this racetrack. That'll never be forgotten, I feel like. But here we go. Grant Brown, Justin Laxton, Blake Massengill, they're fighting. This is around the 17th position. Grant Brown in 17th, Justin Laxton now in 19th. Blake Massengill going to take over 18th spot. With Josh Cottle right behind. Here's Cottle on the 13 car trying to work back forward after pitting for damage earlier.
Getting a good run here. Looking down to the inside of Massengale. Going to cover it off just a little bit. Cottle gets clear of Laxton. Here comes Matt Rolfe to the inside of the 53.
Laxton put a block on the 0 that time.
Friendly love. Rubbin's racing, Andrew. Even if it is for 21st.
Even if it is for 21st. I like it. Matt Rolfe loose off the corner there in 21st spot. Dante Curtis right behind. Battling further forward. One car is slow. Still Langford just had a moment. He falls back now behind Stenjum and Jeffrey. As Spencer Dickinson is still working on Joel Smith, this now for the 11th spot.
Down low into turn number 3. Joel is just trying to defend. Both these cars have a little bit of damage after that big one that occurred on the front straightaway. Clear going into 1, but Dickinson's going to hang it low on the bottom and stay down there. Not really too concerned, I'll say, when it comes to the overall strategy with these tires and whatnot. I mean, you got to think about it here, Andrew. These guys have not had any change sets. You know, they're out here just running on the set of tires that they have. And me personally, I would not want to stay side by side for 5-6 laps at a time when you've still got about 25 laps to go.
It's just part of it, man. Gotta race. Gotta race for all you can get. And Spencer Dickinson moved back into the top 12 in the standings. Here we go.
Like third.
It's for a slide and a caution.
Well, on the bright side, the iRacing.com safety crews don't have anything to clean up, so we'll just roll right back to green, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, this is going to make it a race up front.
I don't think Kelly wanted to see that.
No, he had a 1.5 second lead. Here we go. Steele Langford and Keith Jeffrey side by side into turn 1. Jeffrey just moves up and net codes the 33 car. Jeffrey goes for a spin. Two of them each having their own moments there. Here you see them at Juliet C. Speed Shop driver go for a slide, and then there goes Keith Jeffrey for a slide into the inside wall and pit cone there. And that's that. So back up front, Cody Kelly going to have to defend on a restart. Something he's not had to do yet as a race leader. We'll get a chance to do so this time over Alex McCullum and Cole Cabry. So if there was ever a time to earn a win, that time is now. He's going to have to work for it.
The top 3 drive. Well, no, we're not choosing yet. They're letting Aaron Johnson go take his wave around, get himself a lap back so he can try to stay somewhat in contention for this. He is currently 30 laps down. So I guess they're putting him 29 laps down now. Race control is deeming that a racing incident. Looks like the 2 drivers involved had a bit of a gentleman's agreement saying nothing really happened. Nothing really got made of it. So they're just going to call it a racing deal, move on. And I think that's a respectable way to go. Up front for the choose, Kelly, McCullum, Cabry. Top 3 get an even split. Edwards goes top side. See the rest of the drivers choose him in the background.
Cody Kelly going to lead us to the green on the inside. McCullum chose outside, then Cabry inside, Edwards outside, Terzak inside. He'll restart 5th. He's leading the driver of the day vote for now. Into the restart zone. We are down and away and back green. Whoa, Joe Schaefer Jr. in the 6. That's going to be a massive accident in turn 3. 1 on his lid. That's Keith Jeffrey.
Joel Smith, Spencer Dickinson, Kyle Terzak involved. Wait a second, that's not Kyle Terzak. That's Jim Cottle Jr. 215, sometimes confusing. You saw Cameron Hamilton nosed into the wall up there as well. Going to be a lot of cars with pit for repair. We've got Spencer Dickinson, Riley Stenjem, Joel Smith, Steele Langford with a black flag, Joe Schaefer Jr. Oh, man.
He just came down across the nose of Jim Cottle Jr.
Jeffries.
He must have thought he was clear, and I mean, he never, ever was. He was, actually, he was for a second. Terzak checked up. Hang on. I take that back. He was for a second clear. And this angle will show it nicely. So watch Terzak in the 15 slide there off the corner. And that checks up the 6 just as he got clear of the 15. He tried to swerve down. Cottle was there on the inside. And that just sparks this entire massive, massive accident up into turn 3. Joel Smith, Riley Stenjem, Steele Langford, Spencer Dickinson, Keith Jeffrey, all massively included, as well as a second incident in turn 4. Jim Cottle Jr., Casey Kelly, and more.
And Cameron Hamilton got a piece of that too. He couldn't see it in the camera shot, but he definitely did. Here's another look at it. There
Full
you
speed.
see Schaefer.
Oh my gosh.
Was that Tedeschi going around up there? No. He was further back.
I know Casey Kelly was. Casey Kelly went around.
Ah,
Cottle came up and got Casey Kelly. Casey Kelly slid, came down and got Cameron Hamilton, Daniel Folds, and even Jacob Harbert's got a piece.
I'll tell you, Cameron Hamilton could have had way worse right there. I feel like that's a nomination for the lucky performance, lucky break of the race.
Let's watch the 10. One more good replay, then we'll go back to live picture before this restart.
It's just wrecking. He just misses it. There's number 1. And then number 2, he barely taps the wall.
We've got 2 separate nominations for Lucky Break of the Day. I know mine, as we go back green, is going to be for Alex McCollum, who now uses it to go to the inside here of Cody Kelly. Restart is live. We're back racing with 16 to go.
Cody Kelly did a beautiful job hanging on to that lead on that restart. He was able to defend well. This is what we were talking about earlier, Andrew. That outside line is beautiful for just being able to hang on to it and defend from moves to the inside. I think one hindrance that we already talked about is that right front damage as McCullum just about tags the wall a little bit. He almost got the nose ripped off.
We don't want any of that tonight.
Hey, you never know.
It's Kelly, McCullum, and Cabry, your top 3. Trevor Edwards gets bullied out of the way for 4th.
Oh, Cabry smacks the wall. McCullum hit it as well. They're all just beating and banging off of turn number 2. We're coming back to the start-finish line. We've only got about 13 laps to go. There's not a lot of time left. And I'll tell you, Andrew, we keep talking about that famous moment with Parker Traves tagging that crossover gate and ripping the nose off. You want to know who was right behind him for that race, too? Right in that second spot, Alex McCullum.
He's going to get tired of watching races slip away here at New Smyrna. Caution is out. And that will halt progress as Blake Massengill is on his lid. He's had a rough night, has Massengill.
Oh, my Atlanta. Can I say that? I'm pretty sure I can say that.
Yeah, why not?
I feel like that's copyrighted.
Racing with Grant Brown in the 14 car. Massengill gets the outside wall, checks up.
Oh.
Cottle gets him, and then how does he flip here? Eric Tracy comes in and knocks that 10 up onto his lid. Wow.
Might as well think that right front had a tether on it because it just came disconnected and went right back to you. But wowza. And this is something we've seen often at multiple racetracks, Andrew. You know, we saw this, not 2 weeks ago at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah. Big problem there.
Oh, man. Facing the wrong way around on the racetrack, and then boom. At that point, he just said, you know what? Tow truck, come and get me.
That was a pretty quick tow. Well, we talked about it already, the Lucky Break of the Day award. So far, my nomination goes to Alex McCullum with, oh gosh. Getting the wall earlier, nearly getting turned around on Josh Cottle. He has used that lucky break of not getting involved in a crash to go second place so far. I think yours is Cameron Hamilton.
Absolutely. You could nominate him 2 separate times, truthfully. Just missing Joe Schaefer Jr. to make it past that big one, only to get tipped by Casey Kelly and ease that car into the wall. Could have been way worse than it was. He's got a lot of cars in front of him that got damaged. There's some easy pickings off these choose cones.
And so far, leading the driver of the day vote, Turzak. There's plenty of time to vote still. That vote will stay live until we read through the results this evening.
He's getting more votes, too.
Yeah, he's leading the way right now. He's got a fan club voting for him right now, and that's okay. That's the way it goes sometimes.
Well, here we go. This is shaping up to be what could be one of the last restarts, Andrew, but you got to remember we still have those overtime rules. Pace car is going to make the hard left turn into the restart box. They all stack on the front row, but the green flag's in the air.
That was a good restart for Kelly. He waited in the box until he wanted to go. That stacked him up behind. Cabri and McCollum got side by side. That held him back.
McCollum almost jumped the restart, truthfully. He went, had to back off, and then Kelly went, caught him sleeping. Great job by Cody Kelly. 5 laps to go with the line. Oh, they're making contact. Turzak in the wall. He's sliding.
What a save, though. To just drift into a stop like that.
Mark it. Mark it. Lucky performance, lucky break of the race. Pull that graphic up, Andrew.
Well, let's get the replay first. Now, these two drivers, I know, don't like each other very much. Trevor Edwards and Kyle Turzak. If you're in the Spencer Dickinson fan club Discord, you might know some of the beef behind it. They beat and bang down the back stretch, and then Harberts gives the 15 the tap around.
It's a tap by Trevor Edwards, a little side check, and then a bop to the back bumper from Harberts.
We'll watch it again.
Side by side off of turn number 4. A little bit of contact down the straightaway. Maybe Edwards felt like he got a little pinched into turn number 1. Slowing it down here. Edwards comes up.
They just kind of
Door checks him into the wall.
And then Harbert's all over the back end of that 15 car into turn 3. Sends him for a slide and goes right on by. And it's a little skid to a stop there for Kyle Turzak. And is that your new nomination?
It has to be.
Just got stuck between a rock and a hard place. Is that the lucky break of the day? We want to know. All of you watching over on YouTube, let us know. We want your opinion here. Is that the lucky break of the day? Able to save the race car, keep on moving. Able to battle for some spots here at the end. As we are going to break into lucky performance overtime.
Overtime!
Yes. We'll have 2 laps, a green lap and a white lap, then checkers will end it. If the green lap is completed, the race is official. If the green lap is not completed, we restart again. After all attempts are used, the caution can end the race. We only have 2 attempts here in the SARA Super Series. 2 times can we try to get this race completed by overtime. This will be attempt number 1.
Get lucky in your overtime performance.
I like it. Green flag back in the air. Green-white checkered number 1 here at New Smyrna Speedway. Cody Kelly down and away with the race lead. Single file. Big crash. One car sailing over others. And we will use that second overtime attempt.
Oh my goodness, Andrew. We saw cars pirouetting in the air. That's Dante Curtis in the 03. That left front is plastered into the asphalt. He doesn't even have a rear end on that car. Oh my goodness.
Let's watch it back. Jim Cottle Jr. got tapped by Grant Brown, and that set him up into the 03 of Dante Curtis, who crowd surfed over Kyle Meyer. That's the second time Meyer's been crowd surfed on this evening.
Feel Langford got a piece of that. We got a lot of cars that might have pit for repair flags here. Surprisingly, no one. Never mind. Oh my goodness.
Watch it here. Grant Brown into Jim Cottle Jr. Jim overcorrects into the 03, who goes flying over the field. And then on to Kyle Meyer. Still Langford got a piece. Casey Kelly got a piece. Kyle Turzak dances around it all.
Heavy, heavy impacts.
And we have to get on board with that 03 car. We'll do it. Wow.
So, let's paint this picture a little bit. Now that we're going into the restart for our second attempt at overtime. Daniel Folds is 7th, Justin Laxton is 8th, Matt Rolfe is 9th, Grant Brown is 10th. Grant Brown was the last in on speed today. Then you have right behind him in the 11th spot, Devin Rogers. who started right next to him in the 27th spot. You have Keith Jeffrey with that mangled piece of machinery. As everything's starting to situate, John Willett, one of the drivers who took a provisional, he has the chance to make it back into the top 10. And all things considered, Keith Jeffrey, Kyle Turzak is about to get the top 10 again.
Here we go, overtime restart number 2. Green flag back in the air. We are racing at New Smyrna. Two laps, a green lap and a white lap. McCullum stacks up. That's the entire field behind him. Caution is out, and Cody Kelly is going to win the race.
Oh, no!
Wow.
Matt Rolfe sneaks by for 3rd. Justin Laxton 4th. He's going to give up a spot here as the ticker just cycles through. You see drivers trying to get back to where they need to be. Cole Cabry apparently has to get back up. Race control is actively looking at the situation, but up front, checkered flag in hand from Barney the Flagman, and it's Cody Kelly. That spot we know for certain is official.
We don't know about the rest of it. We'll let the unofficial results be truly unofficial this evening. That's the first time I think I've ever had to say that. Incredible.
I'm in, wow, okay, wow. Alex McCullum, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but we could call that 2 weeks in a row. He was going for all the marbles and didn't exactly work in his favor.
Well, here comes the 75 down to the start-finish line. Gets a win when he needs to try and have a chance in these next couple of weeks, and he will burn it down at New Smyrna. It's still a long shot, but he's got a chance with this win.
14 cars finishing on the lead lap tonight, Andrew. Oh my goodness. We had Matt Rolfe 3rd on the ticker. It looks like he'll cycle down. I don't know if they're going to go off the moment of caution or if they're going to line up how iRacing deems them. There you see McCullum tap the wall. It's same thing. Same thing that happened with Massengale. Tap the wall, gets ran into from behind, gets the rear end lifted up, and boom, they all just go around.
I've got a lucky performance, lucky break of the day for you. Watch the 80. On board with him here,
boy.
Jacob Harberts. Watch this.
Oh boy.
Right on by. Right on by. 2nd place.
Oh my goodness. I feel like we can consider that a bit of an official result there. Like I said, still waiting on race control.
Well, it depends on when the caution is thrown.
Well, there's the caution lights there. You see it. However, the thing that's going to throw a wrench in the whole plan here is if drivers had black flags for not giving up spots to cars that were wrecked.
Let's watch through this real quick. So McCullum and Cabry. McCullum knocks the wall down, catches Cabry, then Edwards, then Cottle, then Folds. They all go down the racetrack. The field tries to fly through it, which you would expect, being that it's a green-white checkered, and the field all just kind of combines into one mess of spaghetti on the backstretch. This all starts with Alex McCullum. Watch him just nail the wall right there. Wall grabs him. Cabry around.
What I want to know is, when did the caution come out?
We'll defer to the officials to figure it out. Let's go back and get a look at the unofficial race results and see who maybe finishes where. Cody Kelly, we know, will get the race win out of all of this. We don't really know beyond that, but it'll be Cody Kelly, Jacob Harberts, and Cole Cabry unofficially scored in the top 3. Justin Laxton, Daniel Folger, top 5. Keith Jeffrey, John Willett, Cameron Hamilton, Kyle Turzak back in the top 10. Grant Brown there in 10th.
Career days for a number of these drivers. I'll tell you, it's been one heck of a show. Trevor Edwards ends up 11th when it's all said and done. Kyle Meyer, Casey Kelly, and Devin Rogers end up 12th, 13th, and 14th. And then Alex McCullum ran in the top 3 most of the night, ended up 15th, 1 lap down. He ended up taking a tow to the pit lane after the incident occurred. Josh Cottle ends up 16th. Matt Rolfe was able to bring that car back to the line, but black flags and all standing right now on the unofficial results relegate him to 17th. Steele Langford ends up 18th, 6 laps down after that big smash him up on the first attempt at the green-white checkered. And you have Jim Cottle Jr. and Dante Curtis ending up 19th and 20th on the night.
Finishing 21st, at least unofficially. Again, very unofficial. Blake Massagill over Eric Tracy, 18 laps down for each of them. Then Brian Tedeschi, and these guys will say are official at this point. Brian Tedeschi, 23rd, Aaron Johnson, 24th, Joel Smith, Joe Schaefer, and Spencer Dickinson there, as well as Riley Stenjum, Dallas Pataska, and Dylan Bates, your top 30. The 30 cars that were able to make tonight's feature and go racing. Everything up in the top 10 is what's super unofficial. We don't know if this is going to stand, so keep that in mind. But here's the graphic one more time. That's your top 10. Very, very unofficial right now.
I think everything down really to maybe about the 16th or 17th position, we should really just call that unofficial. Everything
through 17th, yes. Everything on the lead lap or 1 lap down, we'll say is unofficial. I would say aside from Cody Kelly. He's the one we know that got through. Jacob Harberts, you could almost say is unofficial, or almost say is official rather, but either way, that will end tonight's Driver of the Day vote. Cody Kelly is the winner, and we'll be talking to Cody Kelly, our Driver of the Day, and our race winner here at New Smyrna Speedway. Cody, it's been a while since you've been to SARA Super Series Victory Lane. How good does this one feel?
Oh, it feels real good, man. I knew coming in this track, I really needed to try to get this one because this is my favorite track. And last year at the National Tour race, I led about the whole race, and whenever we had to pit, I fell to the back because everybody pitted in front of me. But it feels good to come back here again and run good. Just can't thank everybody for the help, man. It was literally a rocket ship.
And we're doing something new here, the Driver of the Day vote. And once the race calmed down, came to an end and everybody had a chance to go over to the YouTube stream, I'd imagine a bunch of your fellow peers were able to get into the stream, see the vote, and immediately vote for your name because your vote suddenly soared, skyrocketed up above Kyle Terzak and notched that Driver of the Day honor for you. How does it feel to have that respect on the racetrack? Because not everybody gets that.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know about that. Maybe it was a bunch of my buddies. That's pretty funny though. I thank them guys, and I got a lot of respect for them too.
And of course, this vaults you into position to maybe, just maybe, have a chance at the championship. This should put you ahead of Ryan Kuhn, I would say, with this race win and however the drops get figured out and whatnot. This is going to push you just a little bit closer to Cole Cabrey. Is there a chance in your mind, a feeling that maybe you can challenge if he has a couple of bad races?
Well, the only thing you can do here is just try to win every race out. I don't really get into the points, like details a lot, because it's kind of confusing, but all I can do is get the best finishes I can and try to win a bunch of races, and I think we'll have a shot at it.
There you go, Cody Kelly going for a couple more race wins here before the season is done. That's a big one here at New Smyrna. Congratulations, Cody. Good to talk to you. Hopefully we're talking to you again soon.
Yes, sir. I just want to give a shout out to Cameron Hamilton for building a really fast setup. Parker Traves, he had the Q set dialed in. Casey Kelly, Brooks, Jim, Joe, Harry, Brooks and Chase, my dad watching, everybody. Can't thank everybody enough, man. That was a heck of a race.
There you go, Cody Kelly with the race win. Good to talk to you, Cody. We'll move on down and get second place here. The other position that we feel is relatively official, that's going to be Jacob Harbert. Zach, I can't imagine what's going through his head.
Yeah, he wasn't second place at the green flag, but he's second place at the end of the night. Jacob, Andrew nominated you for Lucky Performance, Lucky Break of the Day, missing that last caution to put yourself in the second spot. What do you have to say about that, man?
I think if there's an award for the most undeserved P2 finish ever, I'll probably take that. I struggle with this track, and I miss setup, and just driving wise, it's not my best place, but I was able to survive those wrecks the last 30 laps, and just everything just kind of fell right in my lap for me. I got lucky, and definitely glad to take it on P2 tonight.
I'd be glad with P2 as well, man. I mean, honestly, a solid night. You had some ups and downs throughout the race, but you managed to bring it home solid. Do you think that this is going to be maybe a changing of the trends? We've seen you run up front. We've seen you win races. Do you think you're going to be up there win a race this year, or maybe, put yourself in contention for a few more points?
I mean, I'll be in contention. We don't know what track's next week, mystery night, but Lanier's been a pretty good track for me. I like the flatter tracks, so wins aren't guaranteed by no means in this series, but I think we'll be in contention for sure.
Well, you sit 60 points out and a second place on the night, finishing in front of a lot of people you needed to finish in front of. That's a great night, and I gotta say, congratulations, man. Good job tonight.
Thank you, guys.
Then, he says it's undeserved, Andrew, but that second place is going to go a long way with these last couple of races lining up, and I think he's got a good shot to be in contention here.
I think so as well. I don't think it was an undeserving second place at all, but we'll go down and talk with unofficially third place, and this is a very unofficial situation. What was iRacing telling you to do there at the end, Cole?
Yeah, man, it told me to take P3 right at the end, so that's why I sped through to try to get it. But yeah, definitely very confusing.
What did you see from your perspective other than a massive one car smack on the outside wall?
I didn't really see much. It happened so fast. With Alex getting into the fence, I really didn't know what happened, and all I know is I see the back of the one car, and I didn't fully spun. I spun it like halfway, and we got spun back to going straight, but my right front was broke. So I really just wanted to get through tonight. Because I'm not sure, but I think I had a finish like 7 or better to point. But I really just wanted to get a good night going. We struggled the last 2 nights. Unfortunately, I hope it's safe, but I guess we'll have to wait till next week to see.
Well, regardless if it stands or not, you're in a really good chance. Earlier I said if we had a field of 100 entries to, in a bag of, sorry, I had this earlier and I completely forgot how I said it earlier. If you had a bunch of names in a hat, that's how I said it, a bunch of names in a hat, you would have 95 of them out of 100. And I feel like you're at 99 right now. Does that feel good to have that good of a situation for the championship? Obviously, it must feel good, but try and put it into words for us. How does it feel to have the championship wrapped up this early?
Yeah, no, it feels great, man. We had a really good start to the season. I lost connection, so I'm on my phone. If I'm breaking up, that's why. No, we had a really good start to the season, and the last 2 or 3 races we kind of struggled. Just not having the best car. And then, some incidents getting into other drivers that I could have prevented. But, yeah, no, all in all, it's a great season. I felt like I kind of had a target on my back towards these last couple races. So just kind of glad to get these over with. And a huge prop to the guys at the shop. We've had our ups and downs this season. Like I said, the beginning was great, but in the end, we struggled. So, I'm just glad to wrap this thing up and just want to get to the end of the season.
Well, congratulations on a preliminary third place when it's all said and done. We'll see if that stands or if that moves a little bit. Who knows? But regardless, congratulations on a job well done this evening, and I'd imagine a championship here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I think you may be able to help me out. I think I'm the only repeat winner of the season, but I could be wrong. I'll have to check. Maybe Cody won one, but yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Thank you, Matt. You guys for dealing with us every week, and hopefully we'll talk to you with the championship soon.
Can confirm you're the only double, I guess quadruple winner for sure, but the only multi-time winner this season. Everybody else has single wins, but it's been a season of Cole Cabry out there. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
He's got 4 wins. 4 wins. Going into tonight, that was exactly half of the season, which is a crazy number. The rest of the field splitting the rest of the wins, and Cody Kelly now adding one. The Kelly brothers, I mean, they have 2 wins technically, but
I was gonna say, I mean,
that's the closest you can get to saying there's a multi-time winner out there, other than Cole Cabry. He has just got this series wrapped up right now. Here's a look at Cody Kelly as we go through some of the back-end graphics of the evening. I would say lucky performance, lucky break of the day goes right to Jacob Harbers. Would you agree?
I feel like I could fight you on that one, but honestly, I think I'm gonna agree with you.
And of course, we talked about the NARL driver of the day. That goes to Cody Kelly. He is this evening's driver of the day as by your YouTube votes. So we appreciate you all participating there. A bunch of votes came in right after the race ended, all for Kelly, it seemed like. So he just surged up ahead of Kyle Turzak, and was able to get that honor this evening. We went over results. Let's take a look at what's upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV. Next up, we head out to Daytona International Speedway for the BRB Racing League Butt Kicker Cup Series. Then Wednesday, February the 12th, we go out to Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway Gateway, for what we thought was going to be last night. That race got postponed technically, and it'll be next week, February the 12th. That'll be the first race of the playoffs for that series. And then Sunday, February 16th, Zach, it's the Intimidator for the Major Series. That's going to be a whole bunch of fun. NASCAR 1987 Cup cars around the Daytona Oval.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Plenty of places to follow along with it too. PitStopTV.com, Facebook.com/PitStopTV, Instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, Twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, YouTube.com/PitStopTV1, and X.com/PitStopTV_. So much great racing coming up. It's going to be a fun week ahead. I guarantee it, Andrew.
Yeah, we've got some really fun racing coming up, and this is just a look at some of what is coming up through the rest of February. Of course, we have a week break here for the SARA Super Series. Then we're back in action at another mystery race on February the 20th. That will do it for us this evening from New Smyrna Speedway. A big thank you to all the partners with the series: All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, and Matthews Designs, as well as 1-8 Coffee Company, 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, RaceOneWraps.com, tonight's presenting partner of the Race One Wraps 125, RJW21 Management, RS Inter Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimRapMarket.com, Toxic Media Solutions, and Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. A big thank you to our partners here at Pits.tv, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and now North American Racing League. That'll do it for us this evening from New Smyrna Speedway. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time here at Pit Stop TV.